So students, welcome you all to MKH. My name is Aditya and now the topic which we are going to discuss today is lines and angles. That is chapter number 6 of class 9. So do observe it carefully. Now you all can see here, as the name suggests, that means lines and angles. So actually two lines, let me just draw it right below so you can see it clearly. So two lines like this, right? So they actually form a angle between them. So you can see here, if I just name the rays as OA and OB, so let me just extend it further so that it can be a line, not a ray. So this is a line actually. Let me just give it C and this as D. So you can see there are two lines, AC and BD. So both are actually forming an angle named AOB. You can write the angle sign as like this. So AOB. So you can see there are three alphabets here, namely AOB, right? And in the center one, you can see the angle is actually forming here. So you always keep in mind that you have to keep the alphabet at the center, that one at which the angle is actually forming, right? So suppose if this alphabet, or you can say the point or vertex, say is F, so the angle will be AFB, right? So you have to write that like AFB. So at which the angle is forming, you have to take that alphabet in the middle, right? You can also write this angle as BFA. So angle BFA. So there is no problem to keep the other alphabets first or later. So you can also keep B as first, or you can also keep A as first. But always to keep the middle alphabet on which the angle is actually forming, right? So also one more thing here. So you can also write this AFB as angle F. Only angle F. You can also say this as angle F. So all the three things are actually the same one. So it is the angle F, or you can also say it as AFB, or you can also say that BFA. So all the three things are same. That means you can see here two lines can actually intersect at a point and form a angle there, right? Now let me just rub this and move further. Now you can see here I've written a statement here. Let me just read it from here. So if a ray stands on a line, so there's a ray here and you can see a line. So let me first draw a line here like this. So let me just name it like AB, right? So there's a line that is named AB. Also let me just take a ray over it that is standing on it, right? It can be a vertical line, it can be a little tilted line. So whatever it is, let me just take it like this. So let me just find the name here, OA. So this is a ray. So let me just name the ray as OA and line as AB, right? So there's a line on which a ray is standing. So I've written here a ray stands on a line. Then you can see, let me just, first thing is that the angle of a straight line is 180. Always remember that a straight line has angle 180 degree. So आप ये हमेशा याद रखिएगा, that is an important point here, that the angle of a straight line is 180. Now you can see here, so if I just remove this ray from here first, and let me just tell you, this straight line AOB will have angle of 180 degrees, right? Now let me just redraw that ray here, which was named OA. Now you can see this ray is actually dividing the 180 degree angle in two parts. You can see first one and then the second one. So remember, now this ray is actually dividing the 180 degree angle in two parts. So you can see the sum of both the angles will be 180, right? Now after adding these, you will get 180 because a straight line has an angle of 180. The other thing is, both the angles are adjacent to each other. Now this word adjacent. So what the word adjacent means side by side, just touching each other. That means if a ray divides a 180 degree angle in two equal parts, so the angles are going to be adjacent angles. If you talk in the word Hindi, that means साथ में, right? So they are साथ में है, so that means they are adjacent angles, right? So you can see here, if a ray stands on a straight line, then the sum of two adjacent angles, the first one, the second one, so formed is 180, right? So their sum is going to be 180. If I just take this angle as 1, this angle as 2, so you can write as angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180. Now also these two angles can also be called as linear pair. So remember, whenever a ray is standing on a straight line, so it actually divides the 180 degree angle in two parts, and those angles can be called as a pair, that is called linear pair. Why it is named linear? Because the sum of these two angles is going to be 180. So always remember this thing here, right? So let's move to the other part here. So let me first rub this. Now you can see here that if two lines intersect each other, then the vertically opposite angles are equal. So let me first draw two lines which are intersecting each other, like AB and then CD. You can see they are intersecting at a common point here. Now there are total number of angles 4 here. So you can, let me just mark them like 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if two lines intersect each other, so the total number of angles formed here are going to be 4. So there are, let me just tell you what a vertically opposite angle mean. So you can see if I just take this 2, so what is the opposite angle of it? You can see this angle is opposite to this one. That means angle 2 and angle 4 are vertically opposite angle. And always when two lines intersect each other, the vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. That means angle 2 is equal to angle 4. For example, if this angle 2 is 30 degree, then that means this angle 4 is also going to be 30 degree. So by which reason? They are vertically opposite angle, right? So also there's another pair here of vertically opposite angle. That means angle 1 is equal to angle 3, right? So if this angle 1 is of, you can say 40 degree, so angle 3 will also be of 40 degrees. That means angle 3 is equal to angle 1, or you can say angle 1 equal to angle 3, whatever it is, right? So always remember, when a pair of line intersect each other at a common point, then total number of angles formed will be 4, and there will be two pairs of vertically opposite angle. First pair and the second pair. They are always equal. That's all. So students, let's discuss the next topic here, and you can see it is written here that if a transversal intersect two parallel lines. So there's a transversal and two parallel lines. So let me just tell you one by one. First, it is given to me that the two lines are parallel to each other. So it is given to me, right? So always remember. So let me just draw two lines like AB and CD. So the two lines are parallel to each other. You can see it is given to me. Now there is a transversal line. Now what is a transversal line? Which is actually lying or just intersecting two parallel lines. So this line is actually called transversal, right? So it is actually intersecting the two parallel lines at 2 points. Let me just name them E and F, right? So this is a line. Let me just also name the line here. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Let me just give it the name G, and let me just extend it a layer. So H. So GH is a transversal. Let me just name it GH, right? So two parallel lines are AB and CD. Both are parallel to each other. So this is the parallel sign. Remember? Now you can see AB and CD are parallel to each other, and GH is a transversal which is intersecting AB and CD at 2 points E and F, right? Now let me just move further. So if a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then this condition will occur. That means each pair of corresponding angles is equal. Now what are corresponding angles? Let me just show you here, right? Okay. Total number of angles formed when a transversal intersect two parallel lines are 8. So let me just name them 1, 2, 3 and 4. So then will be 5, 6, then 7 and 8. So you can see the 8 angles formed when a pair of parallel lines is intersected by a transversal, right? So these are the 8 angles. Now corresponding angles are those angles formed by the transversal on the same side. So I am going to take a pair of angle. Let me just tell you by the numbers here. So angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. That means those angles which are, you can see, lying above or you can say on the same side of parallel lines and also on the same side of transversal, right? You can see this angle 5 is on the left side of transversal and upside the parallel line. Also angle 1 is upside the parallel line and on the left side of transversal. So both angle 5 and 1 are on the same side of transversal as well as the parallel lines. So also the other pair, so this is a pair of corresponding angles and they are going to be always equal. So each pair of corresponding angles is equal only and only if it is given to me that a pair of parallel lines, that means this condition should have to be given, that if the lines are parallel, then the pair is going to be equal of corresponding angles. Getting a point? If it is not given to me that the lines are not parallel, or you can say the lines are parallel, it is not given to me, then this pair is not going to be equal. So this condition is must, right? So let me just also tell you the other pairs. So this is the first pair. Let me just mark it as first. Let me just tell you the other corresponding angle pair. So angle number 4 and 8. You can see lying on the left side and both angles are in the downside of the parallel lines. So this and this. So 4 and 8. So angle 4 is equal to angle 8. So it's the second pair. So third pair is like on the right side and up of the parallel line. That means 2 and 6. So angle 2 is equal to angle 6. So last one which is remaining here is, you can see, in the downside and on the right. So 3 and 7. Right? So angle 3 equal to angle 7. So these are the 4 pairs of corresponding angles in this structure. So students, let's move further to the second part here. Now here it is written that each pair of alternate interior angles are equal if a transversal intersects two parallel lines. So the condition is going to be same. There are two parallel lines and a transversal is intersecting. Total number of angles are 8, and out of these 8 there are pairs of alternate interior angles. Now what are alternate interior angles? Let me just tell you here. So any the structure of Z here formed into this figure. So a structure of Z is formed. So you can say, now you will see that interior angles. So let me first tell you what alternate angles are, then I will tell you what are interior angles. So alternate angles are which form a right Z or opposite Z structure, right? So if you just watch over to this structure, how it is formed in here. If you just notice A, E, F, D. Let me just draw it rough here. So like this. So this is A, this is E, this is F, and this is D. So you will notice the Z structure, right? So this is a right Z, right? So you can see the inside angles of it. That means you can see 4 and 6. So they are in the interior, inside of Z. So they are called alternate interior angles, right? And they are also equal. That means this condition should be satisfied first. That means lines should be parallel and a transversal intersected. Then the Z forming will have equal angles named alternate interior angles, right? Now there are also other type of angles named alternate exterior angle, which is not written here. So let me also show you when opposite Z structure is formed while talking on this. So you will see B, E, F and C. So let me just draw it here. So like this, B, E, F and C. So this is B, this is E, this is F, and this is C. So you will see these angles which actually form opposite Z are in the outside, that means exterior. So the angle number 3 and you can see the 5 here. So 3 and 5 are equal and alternate. Let me just write it in the short form. So exterior angles, right? They are alternate interior angles, right? Now you got what alternate interior and exterior angles are. So let's move to the last part here. So let me just rub this here. Let me also rub this. Now you will see that third part is each pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal is supplementary. So let me just explain you one by one. So the first thing is interior angles on the same side of transversal. So those angles which are on the same side, either on the right side, either on the left side, that means on the same side of transversal. So pair. So let me just tell the pairs which are on the same side. So we will see the interior angles. So they are on the inside. So we are talking about inside. That means we don't need to talk about 1 and 2, 8 and 7. They are on the outside. So we have to talk about only 3, 4, 5 and 6. So you will notice that 4 and 5 are on the same side. So let me just take first these two, right? So angle 4 and angle 5. So condition will be still existing. That means lines should have to be parallel. Only and only then these 3 points will satisfy, right? So you can see here angle 4 and 5 are on the same side of transversal and in the interior. So these are the interior angles on the same side of transversal. Also, if you notice, the angle 3 and 6 you will see are on the right side. That means they are also on the same side and in the interior. So there are two pairs of interior angles on the same side of transversal. There are 4 and 5 and 3 and 6. Now, if the lines are parallel, then definitely you will see the sum of these two angles will be 180. So that is the meaning of supplementary here. So supplementary means the pair of angles with sum 180, right? So definitely 4 plus 5 will going to be equal to 180 and 3 plus 6 is going to be equal to 180 if and only if the pair of lines are parallel, right? So then definitely the sum of interior angles on the same side of transversal is going to be supplementary. That means 180. So that's all. So students, earlier now I've told you about a pair of parallel lines intersected by a transversal will get the pair of corresponding angles, then alternate angles and interior angles on the same side of transversal, right? So there are 3 types of angles which I've told you. Now let me just show you a worse condition. So that means opposite condition. जैसे कि मैंने आपको पहले बताया कि lines जो हैं वो parallel हमें दी होनी चाहिए. That means the lines should have to be parallel and given to us. But if it is not given to us that the lines are parallel, like if it is given like if a transversal intersect two lines such that either, so you can see here it is not given to us that the lines, these two lines are parallel to each other. That means there is no given condition. Then those 3 angles are not going to be equal, right? So let me just tell you this opposite condition. If a transversal, again the condition is same, but it is not given to us that the lines are parallel, right? So हमें नहीं पता कि ये lines जो हैं ये parallel है या नहीं. So if a transversal intersect two lines like AB and CD such that either agar, that means if any pair, that means even a one pair of corresponding angles is equal. That means now condition is it is given to us that if the angles are equal, that means corresponding angles, now you know that 1 and 5, then 4 and 8, then 2 and 6 and 3 and 7. These are the pair of corresponding angles. So if any of even one pair is equal given to us, then the lines are going to be parallel. So this is the opposite condition. In the previous condition it was given to us that the lines are parallel, then the angles are equal. Now the condition is if the angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Getting my point? So if the two lines which we don't know are parallel to each other, will be parallel if a pair of corresponding angles is equal, or you can say a pair of alternate interior angles is equal. Like you can say 4 and 6 are equal. If it is given to us that 4 is equal to 6, then definitely these two lines are going to be parallel, because these are alternate interior angles, right? So or you can say if a pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal, like 4 and 5, so it is, if it is given like 4 plus 5 is 180, then the lines are parallel, because they are interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary. That means lines are going to be parallel. So remember the condition, the previous one, and now they are completely opposite. So if any of these three conditions exist, then the lines are going to be parallel. So we can write that AB is parallel to CD. So this will be the result of us, right? So these are given things, and this will be the result in this condition. But in the previous condition, given to us was this, and this was the result. Getting my point? So that's the difference. That's all. So students, let's move further to the next topic here. Now you can see here it is written that lines which are parallel to a given line are parallel to each other. So let me just explain you with the diagram here. So if it is given to us like a line here, AB is parallel to CD. So it is given to us in the question that AB is parallel to CD. So let me just write given here. Also it is given that the CD is parallel to EF. So also it is given to us that CD is parallel to EF. Now let me just give it first condition and this is second. So now you will see that AB is parallel to CD, it is given to us, and also CD is parallel to EF. That means both AB and EF are parallel to a same line. You will see here that AB is also parallel to CD and EF is also parallel to CD. So both the lines are parallel to a common given line, right? So here it is written that lines which are parallel to a given line, like this is parallel to this and this is parallel to this. So they are parallel to each other. That means by both condition from first and second, we can conclude that AB will be parallel to EF. That means this is parallel to this and this is parallel to this. So both these two lines will be parallel to each other, right? So that means if this is parallel to this and this is parallel to this, then this will be parallel to this. That means AB will be parallel to EF. We can conclude like this, right? So let's move to the next topic now. Now the sum of the three angles of a triangle is 180. So let me first rub this area. So like, let me rub this. So also let me just rub this line because we have done this, right? So like this, right? So let me just draw a triangle here first. So let me just name it A, B and C, right? So you will see three angles here, right? Let me just name them 1, 2 and 3. So sum of three angles of a triangle is 180. So it's clear enough. There's a theorem kind of thing that 1 plus 2 plus 3 will always be equal to 180. So always remember that the sum of angles of a triangle is 180. So this is proved, right? So always remember that. So we are going to use this in the coming questions, right? So last one is that if a side of a triangle is produced, let me just take this triangle and let me just produce this BC side onto further like this. So let me just draw it half blank. So I have produced this BC side further. You can see here. So there are three interior angles, 1, 2 and 3. So you will see that there is an angle formed which is the exterior angle. E-X-T-E-R-I-O-R, exterior angle. Let me just name it as E, right? So this is the exterior angle which is formed by simply producing any of the side. You can also produce that one, you can also produce that one. So an exterior angle will be formed. So here I have produced BC here, right? So the thing is, if a side of a triangle is produced, the exterior angle so formed, this one, is equal to the sum of the two interior opposite angles. Now interior, so there are total three interior angles. Now opposite angles, so the statement is saying that the exterior angle, this one, will be equal to the sum of interior opposite angle. Let me just take the adjacent angle of this exterior angle. You know, while drawing a linear pair, you know this is a straight line, it will be of 180, right? So this is a linear pair. So angle 3 and E are actually a linear pair. So what are the opposite angles to this? Angle 1 and 2. So this exterior angle is equal to the sum of interior opposite angles. That means the opposite angles of 3, the adjacent angle of it, right? So this exterior angle will be equal to the 1 and 2 sum. For example, let me just tell you that if this angle 1 is equal to 30 degree and 2 equal to 40 degree. So the exterior angle will be equal to 30 plus 40. That means 30 degree plus 40 degree, that means 70 degree. That means this angle will be then 70 degree. So this is the theorem right here. Getting my point? Or you can also take more examples so you will get clear that if it is 50 and this is 30, then their sum will be 50 degree plus 30 degree, then the exterior angle will be of 80 degree. So getting my point? So the exterior angle so formed is equal to the sum of interior opposite angle of the adjacent one. So whatever the angle here is, the opposite angles are A and B. So the sum of these two angles is equal to the exterior angle. That's all.